Vocab ready.
And action!
I think the thing that people need to keep very strongly in mind is that this is not an animated film. These actors did not just stand at a lectern and do a voice part, and then animators went off for the next 2 years and created the entire physicality of their performance.
The most exciting thing is, it is my performance. This thing walks and talks and acts like me. It's my interpretation.
Every nuance, every tiny bit of the performance that you see on the screen was created by the actors. They had to run, they had to leap, they had to fight, they had to do all the things that you see them doing in the film. And that's where the power of the performance comes from.
It's not just we're capturing emotion, we're trying to capture what's the intent of the actor.
Let's go!
What CGI technology does is it replaces prosthetics. Actors can now play any character that's designed in the computer without going through hours and hours of makeup. And what we get is their performance coming through the CGI character. Just like you would get Eric Stoltz's performance coming through in The Mask, you get Zoe Saldana's performance coming through in Neytiri.
You have a strong heart. No fear. But stupid. Ignorant like a child.
Performance captures a technique where you try to capture the performance of an actor and translate it to a digital character.
Prior to them even moving out into the performance capture world, we put the actors inside this giant sphere covered with lights, and we could photograph them and study their facial features and try to understand how to design their characters.
This is great.
And then you put an actor in a suit with markers on the suit.
We put you in a spatial volume.
Using a lot of cameras all around to record the motions of all the markers.
The computer is creating a real-time moving skeleton of you. From that skeleton, you now can drive a computer-generated character.
Performance capture is great for anything that can really be done by a human performer, including a lot of stunt work. Even some of the creatures on this film are at least roughed out in a performance capture stage. Jim was working with some of the performers to work out creature movements, in a sense kind of puppeteering them.
We used the volume for everything. For the aerial scene, we made little wire models of the various aircraft, and then we just go out there and fly them around, like a couple of kids with a toy airplane.
In the computer, you would see a real-looking helicopter matching the motion of your action.
And that's how all this stuff starts, with an idea of action.
We've taken mocap and made it performance capture. You don't just want the motion, you want the emotion of somebody, and for that you need a performance.
The intent is to capture the entire performance of the talent. We're recording tons of high-definition reference from all these different angles so that we can really get those subtle nuances.
The thing we were worried about most was this, because this is where movies live and breathe, in the tight close-up. The part that we had to create during the making of this film was the facial image-based performance capture technology that allowed what the actors did to 100% translate to what you see the characters doing. So we came up with this idea that we would actually have a little boom, and on the end of that boom there'd be a little tiny camera, and it would image the face while the actor was working. So it captured every nuance of how their lips moved and how all their facial muscles moved, how their eyes moved.
What we're trying to do is take what the actor is doing emotionally in any given scene and to translate that into the characters. And we do that by using their muscles. It gives us a way to correspond emotion to what you actually see expressed in the character's face.
It was a very, very exciting time where we realized that we had rounded that corner and that we had true human emotion captured and performed by a non-human character.
But they sent me here to learn your ways.
What are you saying, Jake? You knew this would happen?
Yes.
I think a lot of actors think of performance capture as something off-putting or something that will limit their art. But Zoe and Sam Worthington and the others, including Sigourney, found it as very freeing, very liberating. They embraced it, and they had an awful lot of fun with it. Zoe, as Neytiri, captured every aspect of that character that I wanted. Her beauty, her lithe grace, her incredible strength, her emotional clarity. And you see all that.
I trusted you!
Trust me now, please.
God! God, let you not be happy! You will never be one of the people!
Try to stop.
Go good enough!
Terry, please, please.
Good!
This is the first time that real-time performance capture has been employed in a direct filmmaking sense. This whole system has been set up to allow Jim, as a director, to walk onto the stage as if it were a live-action stage, pick up the camera, see his actors, see his characters, see his world.
One of the ways we did that was by coming up with this virtual camera that allowed us to see in real time what was being shot in the performance captured stage.
The virtual camera was used at 3 important stages. Initially, it was used to just look around in the scene. That's where we actually art directed the movie. And then we'd bring in the actors, and I'd use the virtual camera to block the scene with them, exactly like a director would use their viewfinder.
When Jim picks up that camera and he looks at the actor who's standing there right in front of him, what he sees is their CGI character. And when he moves the camera around the stage, what he sees is the world that that character is supposed to be standing in.
And we can be very improvisational because we're not bound by the set.
You can come in here and create a world. We'll just pull assets that we've created into the scene, and voila, you're in a new place in the forest. It is definitely liberating to be able to make those decisions on the fly.
Jim probably has more flexibility on the virtual production stage than he would have during a live-action shoot.
Sweet. And then the third stage, I'm working with those captured performances to shoot all the cameras for all the scenes.
The virtual camera doesn't have a lens in the traditional sense. It's all created virtually in the computer. We're using our performance capture system to track this position as though it were a camera view into that world.
And the camera could do anything. It could be a crane, it could be a Steadicam, it could be all just purely handheld. And it all reacts the way you would expect a camera to react in real life.
As a result, you're getting great camera work that doesn't feel computer-generated. It feels very alive and lifelike.
It's basically as close to live action as one could get in a CG-invented world.
You're watching yourself and the motion capture illusion that they created in a computer at the same time. Wow.
Basically, you got maybe 190 infrared cameras looking down on you. There's nowhere to hide, so every take you have to be truthful.
I think people expected the actors to find it more difficult, but we're always doing make-believe anyway, so pretending that nothing is everything is second nature to us.
What about this one? Run, don't run.
Run, definitely run!
It takes you back to the old theater days, where you may just have one chair in the middle of your little black box theater, and you have to imagine everything that's going on around it.
You've got to just let go of all of the things that you thought was supposed to happen and just do it. Let your imagination run.
You get so deep into this world that you start hearing, seeing, feeling Pandora. That happened from day one that I walked on this set. I had to take everything I learned in training and apply it to my first day.
It helps you detach from the fact that you're shooting a movie. You're able to really dig into your character.
It's not animation. It's capturing the avatar version of Norm.
Even though I'm big, 9 foot tall and blue, it's got my personality. It's got my soul. That's quite spectacular that a computer-generated image can do that. And that really surprised me.
The door has just barely been opened on what's possible with this.
One of the things that I'm always going to take with me is the fact that I was a part of a revolutionary experience in Hollywood.